Well, let's go with this.
So,
You came out at the end at Starrcade. It was Starrcade '98 when Nash had beat Goldberg, and you were one of the guys that ran in. Um, what did you think of that at that time? We were talking about Goldberg a little bit here. Did you think that was the right time for Nash to take the streak from him? Or you think that was too soon?
well, somebody was, yeah.
Yeah.
It gotten. How much more? How many more guys could he have beaten?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He beat everybody, and like he was starting to get like the act was getting tired. You know.
It's funny.
It's hard to really argue that. You can go back and watch some of the shows, but I was at the house shows.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that you could tell it wasn't as big of a Goldberg wasn't as strong as he was. You know, like back when he was 56-0. You know what I'm saying? It was just different.
Yeah, there was some negativity coming towards him, some negative chants. I think the WWE had a little bit to do with making him seem a little bit less cool with the Goldberg thing and all that. It's funny because when you read about it, some of the old timer guys
not really. The main thing is that Austin and him were kind of doing a very similar gimmick, but Austin was more entertaining. You know, Austin could talk better. He could, you know what I'm saying? That was the difference.
Yeah.
You know, Austin was cutting better promos. He was just doing better TV than Goldberg was. He was a more rounded performer than Bill was. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it kind of like I think went astray a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you see some of the old timer guys. It's funny calling Bobby Heenan an old timer, but today, hey, and in his book and stuff, he always references it like they beat Goldberg. What were they thinking? That's what killed WCW. Nash did it because he was Booker. All this stuff, and I'm not going to disrespect Bobby Heenan, but I tend to agree with you, of course, more that the time was coming. If it wasn't that night, it was definitely coming up.
Yeah, brothers, you can sit there. What killed WWE? Brother, the bottom line is that the WWE was putting on better television than we were, and just the fans that started watching the other show. We stayed very formulatic for a while, and it just got like when the formula gets old, and the other show was just doing different things. They just started grabbing the channel surfers and they kept the wrestling audience. Had nothing to do with it really much we did. We had the way we did business, and they changed the way they did business, and it just grabbed an audience. So that's like if WWE hadn't changed and hadn't done the attitude and hadn't done that and everything, we probably still would have kept on beating them, but wrestling would have just gotten more stale.
Yeah,
it's
that's. Go
ahead.
It's funny. I mean, it's not funny, obviously, because, the place went down and a lot of people lost jobs and stuff. But if you look at the numbers, the number of people that were still watching WCW at the end and the ratings, I think the ratings were...
Well, if we could have fast-forwarded, if they would have been clairvoyant in 2001 and realized that you could draw a 2.0 in the year 2017 and still be a profitable company, they never would have gotten rid of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where that... but bro, everybody talks about the creative was just WCW was not a company that knew how to use its resources to produce income. That was the problem. Our marketing was we didn't sell enough merchandise. We didn't generate enough income.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you could put crappy television on and still generate income. I mean, the WWE shows have been, they haven't been very. The ratings have not been good for years, and the shows have pretty much been panned as not being that good. You know what I'm saying? So, but they still generate a lot of income with the way they market their product, and if we would have known how the internet would have grown and stuff and everything, you could have just honestly, pro wrestling tees today probably makes more money than the WWE marketing machine did back then. You know what I mean? So that's there was just a lack of clairvoyance on their part, a lack of foresight, and a lack of risk taking to be involved that they gave up on it.